All right, Fusion University GGA opened up here on the Garden on Lijiang Tower. And we take a look at that GGA roster where it's been in flux, but not so much anymore. It's gonna be Sharp on the Widowmaker, Fisher on the Tracer, and both teams look at each other, but a flex here from Fusion where they're I was gonna say, that doesn't make any sense. Why'd you put Burton on the Pharah? He's not gonna do that.
Yeah, Rocket Queen going over to the Mech Queen. As of course, he goes over to that D.Va. I honestly, when I saw that Pharah, I wouldn't have been too surprised. Some teams have been trying to run the triple DPS with their solo main tank now, but it's Zachary versus Sharp. Zachary already opening up, taking out Gray, who was just too far forward. They're gonna try and cover the res, but in doing so, they lose the mech, and that is just the team fight one for Fusion University. Luckily for GGEA, time is still ticking down until the point of lock, so there's a chance for them to come back.
Yeah, I mean, really, not much had to be done there. Zachary picks off 2, that's gonna be the fight, but now we'll see what GGA does on the other side. Zachary's out, and here comes GGA on the other end. They had to use the res on Zachary early, but there's a window now that GGA's already gone back over towards the point, but it's a little bit over-aggressive. Smurf ends up getting picked off as a result, and the tank line from GGA is punished because, frankly, the time wasn't ripe.
Yeah, we saw both supports for the side of GGEA actually taking the bridge side push, while both Vol and Smurf decide to come in from the opposite end, and so of course they don't have that kind of support coverage there. They end up falling, and so Fusion University already sitting in a very dominant point. Both Zachary and Sharp, though, have been dishing out a lot of damage. They're gonna have the Infersights at the same time coming in this for this next fight, but the advantage goes over to Fusion University, who will have the Valkyrie ready as long as Sharp doesn't pick him off.
Well, the key, they also have defensive positioning. Who are you? Drops a pulse bomb to the other side, tried to get Smurf, but the healing's gonna be there. All it does is delay GGA a little bit. They're coming off now to that right side through the small corridor, and Fusion University, they're giving them plenty of space going, we don't really have to engage this the other way, but Beast Halo didn't get the memo. Was a little bit far out, gets picked off, and now GGA can move into 6-on-5, and it's not a very resful position either, so now they're gonna be able to flood onto a point with that man advantage.
Still, someone is contesting the point 4 now, as Zachary gets the headshot onto Fisher, who is trying to take down Alarm. Pushes forward with the Transcendence as Smurf now jumps to the back line. Primal Rage is out, but he's on top of the Widowmaker. He's getting burned down. He's got the Orb of Discord on him, but Sharp has taken out Who Are You? Sharp with the 2-man before he finally falls.
Zachary gets away from Winston, gets picked off from the Sharp, but Sharp did plenty, but that's gonna do even more. Fusion University having to burn just about every ult in their stockpile to repel GGA, but repel them they do, and now we're down to the final fight.
Final fight. And we do have some ultimates online. Of course, it is going to be the Infersights for both sides, along with the Pulse Bombs, as Who Are You is only at 91% now. He'll have it shortly. Fisher doesn't have his. He's gone down, but Elk's gone.
Back the other way. Sharp gets the higher value target. Elk's one person that can't res himself. So now GGA gets to come back in with the 6-on-5. Mercy out of it. No one really to keep their tanks alive. And you see that Fusion gonna have to give up more room here. Fisher, though, down again. Alarm turns the corner, takes him out, and with that pickoff, Fusion now can start applying pressure back the other way. GGA hasn't even grabbed control of the point, and now they might be getting thrown off as Alarm picks up another.
Supports were completely zoned out. Now we see the Mercy there trying to keep the tanks alive, but they're getting burned down by Fusion University's front line. D.Va demeched, and with that, overtime ticks away. Sharp gets one last elimination, but Fusion Unity walk away with Garden.
The man of the hour there, undoubtedly Zachary, where Sharp was going to have moments where he would simply tear the game wide open, but Zachary was the one who was able to put that in check. Zachary was the one who got the early pickoffs to give a very easy first point take to Fusion that deprived GGA of key ultimates, that ended up causing GGA to overextend in the next fight. But now we'll see how things change here as we move over to the night market, and we see that Fisher's going over to the far.
Fisher going over to the far would be a better look for him. When we think of GGEA, of course, Sharp was the Tracer player for their team, but now in a very Widow-dominant meta, he has been having to go over to that Sniper. So he will walk out the gates with it, and this is going to work well up against the 3-3 composition of Fusion University. There's not much to really contest him in the sky. We'll see if Fisher can get some good poke damage off, but take a look. They just run right at GGEA.
And that's uncharacteristic. Smurf, who's usually so good out of position. However, Sharp starts trying to bring it back the other way. Got Elk on the other end. Fisher laying in rockets, almost gets Zarya, and here comes Sharp. Gonna wrap around, looking for targets. A lot of shields in his way. It's not the cleanest of line of sights, but because you have Fisher in the sky, it's opening up some avenues here from Sharp, and now GGA has to invest, but Smurf falls early, and as a result, Fusion's able to get first control of the point.
Yeah, there's just so much burst. When you have that Brigitte there, she's able to just use all of her cooldowns and make sure that the tanks really can't do anything at all. So that's why you see Smurf right now, even though he is jumping onto really clumped up targets, he should be building up a lot more ultimates. He's not able to do anything at all because he's getting CC'd that entire time.
Fisher falls towards the end, staggered even more. GGEA now about maybe 4 fights to try and turn this around, but it's been a rough go so far.
It has been, and they haven't been able to get anything happening. Sharp is now swapping off from that Widowmaker on to, of course, the Hanzo, who has a bit more burst potential with the Storm Arrows. Here's the burst from the Barrage, but it gets all eaten up.
It was way too early. D.Va's ready for it, but the problem is that Fusion dives in so deeply that they still give Sharp an opportunity. They end up down 2 with the Barrage only doing a bit of damage there, and as a result, GGA now gets to turn back the other way. They start flipping it to their advantage, and Fusion gonna end up falling here, even though most of that Barrage was neutralized.
And they weren't actually able to get onto the point there. You saw that we got some heals onto Bernard. He was looking to contest a little bit longer, but the body block coming out from GGEA made sure that Fusion weren't able to stall this out any further. They were stopped at 55%. So we'll see if they want to stick with this composition. They've almost got the Earthshatter and the Graviton, so I don't see why not go for one go. They have plenty of time to work with.
Yeah, I mean, the thing here is that it comes down to Fisher, right? Is that do you believe Fisher can beat you right now in the Pharah? And it's starting to turn a little bit back the other way. Can have another Barrage built on up. Fusion eating a lot of licks as they move forward. And now for Fisher, the question is, can you get the Barrage off without D.Va getting your face? D.Va goes back the other way. There's the Dragon. And here's where you drop the Barrage. Gets who are you on the backside. And that's going to be enough. Heavy lifting done by Sharp as GGEA takes another fight.
GGEA just understands how to actually deal with this composition. You saw Fusion University take the inside track there, going all the way around to try and catch out anyone. In the first engagement, they were able to jump onto Smurf because he was just lollygagging about in the middle of the courtyard. This time around, he made sure he avoided them. So Fusion University, looks like this time, they're gonna go rush straight for the points.
And they're gonna have the barrier to back it up, although Elk doesn't have line of sight on half his team there. A little bit of a weird engage, but they got Sharp with the dive, and that still makes it work. Sound barrier, long gone. Bad advantage to the point, but they're not able to get the rest. Oh! Beast Halo knocked on off. They let Shark get res back into the fight, and now GG is in a good spot to continue their dominance on the point.
But they have just lost Vol. Another Dragon Strike comes out as Who Are You picks up 2 with that Brigitte, and now they're starting to just clean up the members of Fusion, of GGEA, but they've done enough, 83%, so we get into this next fight, but Fusion University has some excellent tools to use. Oh, what a huge stagger onto Aid.
Who are you going? I am DPS Brigitte, picking up way more than what should have happened for how that fight ends up starting out. GGA on the back foot, looking at what could be only a 1-fight margin. We'll see what Fisher does, coming in with the Barrage.
Beast Halo, he's been holding on to this Earth Shatter. It's very difficult to try and connect on to the mobile members of GGEA, so we'll see. Right now, Fisher's in the sky with Aid, so neither of them really should fall prey to it, but it's the tank lane that they're trying to focus our Fusion Uni.
The rally already out, the Barrage from Fisher doesn't get much done. It does force Fusion back a bit, but everyone's gonna get healed right back up. However, good amount of that rally now out of the fray. Dragon comes in, deftly sidestep. Beast Halo, under a lot of pressure, throws out the Shatter, doesn't get much, but the Graviton gonna get a bit more. Results in Aid falling, and now GGA down in members, down in HP, has to rush the point, and Fusion says no way. Drops the barrier and invests, follows back the other way, and this is looking like it might be Fusion grabbing Lijiang here on map 1.
There's nothing GGEA can do off the back, possibly of Smurf, getting some great knockoffs, but now he's just gonna focus Beast Halo down and say, I'm 2 for 0 in this tank fight, but it is Fusion University with a 2-0 win.
Though, GGEA did have a few tricks up their sleeve, and it seemed like they were playing pretty coordinated.
They looked a lot better towards the end of round 2. Round 1 was really weird, where, I mean, round 1 was part Zachary just playing out of his mind. It's very difficult to game plan around that when a Widow's just doing that much work, but also, I mean, a few aberrations there is I think Fisher had a very slow start to the game. He almost didn't seem warmed up, looked a little bit better as it went on. Also, I would say that Smurf got uncharacteristically picked off a few times, where normally he's a rock that GG has to depend on.
Honestly, it was Fusion University just understanding the way that composition works. You saw them, especially when we were on Night Market, running that 3-0-3, the GOATS comp, where they took the market side and tried to catch anyone out, and that time around, Smurf wasn't caught. The next time they made the approach, they tried to go straight to the point, but they saw that Sharp was actually caught out and jumped right on top of him. So it was just mired by positional errors coming out from GGEA that Fusion University really took advantage of and were able to capitalize off of.
Right, especially Zachary there, just shutting everything and everyone down, no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, if Zachary was the hero of round 1, the hero of round 2 was Who Are You, where you had that fight where GGA actually had the early pickoff. They were able to deal with some of the opening coming out from Fusion, and then as the fight got down and dirty, as control fights always do, what happens? You see Who Are You in great positions, getting pickoff after pickoff on the Brigida, where again, I think sometimes people underestimate the amount of damage and control she can give to a team. He ends up with 3-4 eliminations in that key fight, and then GGA never quite able to get momentum back.
But Fisher was also performing pretty well on the Pharah, as we can see here.
You should perform pretty well on the Pharah, especially in this up against that composition where there's really no one to deal with you in the sky. You shouldn't be taking damage. Your Mercy's a little bit more free to, heal people on the ground. And, for the freedom he was given, he didn't have as much of an impact as he should have. But it was also, really good positioning coming out from Fusion. So when they were on the points, they weren't standing too close to ledges where their Pharah could try and get an environmental kill. It had to come down to Smurf using the Primal Rage at that to really try and break things open.
Right. It's not that GGEA was sloppy, it's just that Fusion was a little bit more coordinated. They were just had an upper hand most of the time.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, I would argue GGA did come out a little bit weird on round 1, but also, I mean, how much is them coming out sloppy and how much is just Zachary ruining their day? Pick which column you want to invest in.
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
But we're going to be moving on to King's Row, which is a hybrid map. Lots of Reinhardts we can expect to see, Zaryas we can expect to see. What else can we expect to see?
Hanzo loves King's Row, where you'd think Hanzo would be more at home in his hometown castle of Hanamura, but no, he actually really enjoys the pub on King's Row, as it turns out.
That's fair, that's fair. Who are you expecting to really shine as we go onto this map?
I'm looking at Alarm in this one because King's Row has become a map where a lot of teams just now opt to not have a flex support and they go for the DPS or a tank role instead on first and sometimes through second. So I'm looking at Alarm to see what he actually does on the defense and on the offense, both sides.
For me, it's Who Are You. Who Are You's projectile DPS always shines on King's Row. He's the one player that GGA needs to contain and shut down if they want to have any hope of pulling this back.
All right, well, Alarm, Who Are You? We're looking at you, so let's see what you give us.
And of course, it's going to be Fusion here on the defense on King's Row. And what are they starting out with? It's going to be Who Are You on the Junkrat. Junkrats and hotels in King's Row. Rats in general in the hotels at King's Row. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that's why I left them a 3-star review on Yelp. But it's also riddled with spiders, Widowmakers everywhere, as Zachary's also sitting on that. And so this is a very similar composition that we see almost all the time here on King's Row, where it's a Junkrat along with the Widowmaker, but they've also got a pig infestation now. Alarm is going to be on the Roadhog for their defense.
Hey, that's not an infestation. That's bacon delivery. That is the joy of living in 2050. That's the one upside to being in King's Row.
We'll see. GGEA, they're hovering over a quad tank composition. There we go. Orisa swap-off coming out from Fisher. So it's going to be a lot of shield to try and deal and mitigate the damage coming out from Who Are You. It's going to be difficult also for Alarm to try and get that halt hook with the amount of shields that are going to be in play for GGEA.
Sometimes you don't want to go GOAT. Sometimes you want to go old school quad tank is the mantra coming out here from GGA, where, of course, the goal of this is that they're just going to be going straight onto the point. And what they're doing, they're trying to mitigate the amount of poke they take, get their shields all the way back up, but now they're going to go on it.
They are in this holding pattern now, waiting for the speed boost. They're onto the point, get on top of the main tanks of Fusion University. Beast Halo dropping low as he falls back, he will die.
Who Are You is one that needs to perform here. 50%, 68. He has to throw in grenade after grenade to these beefy bodies. Get his Rip Tire up, 96%, almost there. He's the one person that can put an end to this. The Tire, gonna come out to the left, moving on in. They're trying to melt it down. Coalescence, and no, not able to get it down was Gray. Who Are You picks off one, but that Tire still might not have been enough as GGA has one tick, now 2, but Fusion starting to perhaps pull them off the point.
Yeah, it's just straight bullying on the point right now. It's almost like a sumo wrestling match. Just big, beefy bodies pushing each other off. There we go. They're going to be able to clean that up, Fusion University will. But in the minute and 15 seconds GGEA spent, they got 2 ticks here on first. So that's actually a pretty darn good investment. No real swap-offs coming out yet because, you know what? This composition only gets better as they have their ultimates. So Earth Shatter is there. They've almost got the self-destruct. Sharp is the only one lagging a little bit behind right now. It's 60% as Smurf He's the real sniper with that Fire Strike.
Too hot to handle for Zachary. Fire Strike gets him. Earth Shatter comes in from Smurf, but he's a little bit over aggro. They have to use the barrier to save, and it's not in time to get rid of Gray as Fusion starts pulling it back the other way. And what was once an opportunity from that early strike, now going to the wayside. And who are you? You just kind of wonder, do I need to use this tire? I guess the answer is yes. Goes back the other way, and again, runs over Gray. Gray wondering why there's so much traffic on Kings Row right now.
GGEA, they had an opportunity there. Smurf had their Earth Shatter, but Beast Halo was able to eat that up, and then of course counter Earth Shatter him. They were able to take advantage, take him out. Now Smurf has since swapped off onto the Winston, jumping back onto the point, did fall, and it's all Fusion University, and GGEA are continuing to throw bodies at this point, but now they're just delaying themselves.
Well, one thing that's worth knowing is that Alarm went to the Ana when he realized that there wasn't much in the way of divey options coming out here from GGA, so he could be safer in the back, and he's built up the nano boost at the same time.
Nano boost, prime target for possibly Beast Halo just to stay alive with that Reinhardt, get his way towards that Earth Shatter. Also, possibly even to Who Are You when you've got so many tanky bodies. But now GGEA are going to go ahead and make swap-offs. Widowmaker coming in for Sharp, and Fisher is going over to the Genji.
Smurf almost gets chunked early. He's getting the pinker treatment right now in terms of focus. GGA invests the barrier, but what a shatter! Beast Halo lays it down, knocks down 3, and immediately sends Smurf back to his spawn. Fusion. They're going to back up. They don't need to go crazy off that. They know that if taking down 1, that's enough to delay GGA.
Beast Halo needs to drop back. He was dropped low. There we go. He gets healed right back on up. GGEA are now down to 45 seconds as they lose Fisher.
This is rough. GGA season right now on the line, and it's not looking good. They might get held here on first as Fusion still with tools to work in the next fight. Elk take to the skies, and Bernard, give me a little bit of space, drops self-destruct as GGA is struggling to look for a way to reset.
They've got 3 members somehow caught out in the flanks here. They're trying to go on to Bernard, but it's Alarm. He's getting focused down right now. Looked like he took a few shurikens, but he'll be able to back away. Zachary with this Widowmaker, just waiting for anyone to poke his head out. He's gonna go ahead and take the mad position up top. No, he does not, but it's Elk who takes out Sharp.
Yeah, Elk goes, I got this. I don't even need the Widow support. Get Sharp on the other side as Zachary wondering what's wrong with his hook. Now you have Fisher going to the back. Meanwhile, point, someone needs to get on the point. 1 second, 0 seconds, gone! Little bit late there, Fisher, to say the least. And now GGA on the verge of going down a quick 0-2 to Fusion, unless they can have the first point hold of the gods.
Everything just fell apart for GGEA. They had a great first push where it took them about a minute 10, a minute 15, and they got secured 2 ticks. Of course, it was shut down once Who Are You was able to get that Rip Tire up and then take out the Moira. But instead, GGEA on their next push, it became such a prolonged fight where it maybe went on for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes too long, really, before they ever really fully reset, even though they were losing bodies. They thought they had the spawn advantage, but it never came to fruition for them.
I mean, look, I will tell you where the turning point was. The turning point was when Smurf was simultaneously both the hero and also the GOAT at the same time, where, look, he's a hero and he gets the early pick on the Zachary, has 6-on-5, has the Earth Shatter, Fusion's on the brink, and then GGA rushes it. Smurf goes up a little bit over aggressive, drops the hammer, gets absolutely nothing, and then ends up resulting in the tank line getting picked off. It wasn't great, and GGA was never able to recover from that. So it's been a mix of good and bad for GGA so far, but just uncharacteristic errors still plaguing them. And Fusion, they're not a team that you can make these errors against.
No, and they have been cleaning up their play, too, on the side of Fusion University. He talked to us last season. You know, Beast Halo at times was a liability to the team. He was very aggressive with the Winston. He got caught out. I mean, we even saw it on Li Zhang, where we were on Garden. He jumps over to the Mega Health back, and he's surrounded by 4 members of GGA, and he goes down. Somehow Fusion University still fight back from it. But here on the Reinhardt, he had some great plays for his team.
I mean, in general, Beast Halo slowed it down a bit, where he's not playing out of his mind, just dominate a team as a tank. He's just playing I don't want to be the reason why my team loses. And as a result, he's a lot more conservative, but to that very same point, he's never really the reason why Fusion has any issues anymore. As Fusion now look for their way in a very dive-heavy offense. Zachary really responsive.
Yep, double Shimada, double Dragons. course, regular hold coming out. Sharp just pokes his head out for a moment, and the Storm Mirrors are right there. Who are you? Tries to get onto the Mercy, but she's able to fall back for now. Great, taking out Zachary, so it's a 5v5. One tick already coming in for Fusion University.
It's 5-on-5, but they're gonna be able to get Zachary back on top. Fusion still has GGA in check right now. Gray, a little bit too close to the road, falling on the other end, and now that 6v5, Fusion's gonna jump on over. They're gonna apply pressure to GGA, who desperately needs to get on the point. They've already given up a tick, almost two, and with Sharp and Vol being out of it, who are you? Gonna get easy cleanup, and blink, and you might have missed it. It's Fusion University, gonna be going up 2-0 over GGA the start of the day.
Into the iris. Victory.
That was quick. That was very quick.
It was way quicker than expected, and coming into this, I thought GGA, that we've seen them be a bit unsettled in recent weeks, but you know, this is their season on the line. I thought that we'd see them come out and fight like their lives depended on it, and instead, we're just seeing them lay over and get run over by the Fusion as they look to be heading to a 4-0.
I preface this day with, you have to show us what you have, and GGEA, what's up?
There are too many unforced errors coming out from GGEA. There were so many positional errors we saw both on Li Zhang and then, of course, here, where it should not have gone down this way. I was expecting a 3-1, but it was going to be a very competitive 3-1. Not so far.
Yeah.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Yeah.
Anything but this. It seems, I mean, I hope maybe after, in the next half, GGEA will smack themselves and wake up a little bit and we'll really get to see them fight, but it's really just been Fusion dominating.
It's been very one-sided here so far, and look, I mean, part of it is that I don't think there's a single member of GGA that could look to and be like, yeah, this guy's performing at a high level to where we know they've played it. I think Fisher has had a very rough day here so far. Smurf has had way more uncharacteristic errors where normally he is the rock of the team. And even Sharp, I mean, he has moments where in the past he's dominated, he's taken over games, but he's been very much in check by players like Zachary, especially when it comes to things like Widow duels.
And players like Who Are You, who just popped off at the end there. It was, and in the beginning, and the entire game, really.
I love this play, actually. When we were seeing this in the game, it was a very smart play. He understood how to actually take advantage of the gaps in the shields of GGEA. He just jumps over them and then starts shelling them. He does ultimately fall there. I believe Vol goes up with the D.Va, but still, like, it's in a safe, resable position. He's got the coverage of D.Va. Everything was fine.
Also, in terms of how thin of a margin that first point could have been on there, is that if Gray had gotten a little bit of help there on the tire, if that tire had ended up falling, Gray probably would have been able to support the rest of his team there, and I think GGA would have taken the first point. So just as a note where even when things aren't coordinated, it could still come down to one play, 1 point. Right there is probably a textbook example.
Yeah, well, Fusion University is up 2-0, and we will see if GGEA can do anything to bring it back after this break.